Hello and welcome to Sheba Online Classes, Standard 10. Today I'll be taking 4th unit, supplementary, that is The Aged Mother. It is a Japanese folk tale. I would like to tell you something about, little bit about the author. His name is Matsuo Basho. He is one of the most famous poets of Japan. In Japan, many of his poems are seen on monuments and traditional sites. Basho was introduced to poetry at a very young age and he quickly became well known throughout Japan. He made a living as a teacher but later travelled throughout the country to gain inspiration for his writing. And he went into confinement. He was not meeting anybody. He was in a place and only writing poems. He was not meeting also a lot of people. He was famous for his work in haiku. What is haiku is? It is linked verse poetry. He is a master of haiku. That is linked verse poetry. Poetry, but it will be in a very different formation of writing poetry. He used to write stories also, but mostly his poems are only famous. Okay, his haiku mastered. He mastered the art of haiku writing poetry. Okay, so let's start the lesson, supplementary lesson. This Japanese folk tale is also known as the story of the aged mother. It highlights that the aged are sharp-witted. It describes the love and affection a son and his mother have for one another. Long, long ago, there lived at the foot of the mountain a poor farmer and his aged, widowed mother. They owned a bit of land which supplied them with food, and they were humble, peaceful, and happy. So before starting it, I would like to say the characters. How many characters are there? The characters are the young farmer, his aged mother, and the despotic ruler of the shining kingdom. So let's start. Let's continue the story. The country Shining was governed by a despotic leader who, though a warrior, had a great and cowardly shrinking from anything suggestive of failing health and strength. That means he was a very weak ruler, a very coward-like ruler. This caused him to send out a cruel proclamation. Proclamation means a verdict, that is telling the people that he is announcing something to the people of his kingdom. The entire province was given strict orders to immediately put to death all aged people. Those were barbarous days, and the custom of abandoning old people to die was not uncommon. That means this had been happening for quite a few years in that kingdom. The poor farmer loved his aged mother with tender reverence, and their order filled his heart with sorrow. But no one ever thought twice about obeying the mandate of the governor. So, with many deep and hopeless sighs, the young prepared for what at that time was considered the kindest mode of death. That is, he was telling the despotic ruler was actually telling them to put to death all the old people. But what was it? They were told to leave them in a mountain out of the kingdom. So what did the youth, that is the sons and daughters, they had to take their parents, the aged parents to that mountain and leave them there to die. Not killing them, but to leave them there to die. So accordingly what they were thinking is, this is little better than to kill them directly. So they were this is a kind of kindest mode of death. Just at sundown, when his day's work was ended, he took a quantity of unwhitened rice, which was principal food for the poor. Rice was the principal food for the poor. And he cooked, dried it, and tied it in a square cloth, which he swung in a bundle around his neck, along with a gourd filled with water, sweet, cool water. Then he lifted his helpless old mother to his back and started on his painful journey up the mountain. The road was long and steep. The narrow road was crossed and recrossed by many paths made by hunters and woodcutters. In some place they lost and confuses, but he gave no heed. One path or the other, it mattered not. On he went, climbing blindly upward, ever upward towards the high, bare summit of what is known as Obatsu Yama, that is, the mountain of the abandoning of the aged. He was taking them, he was such a sad mood that he was not looking at the road, he was not looking at the crisscross roads, whether he is going to be lost when he is going to come back. So he was just blindly crying all the way. He is taking his mother to the summit, that is known as the Obatsu Yama, the mountain of the abandoning of the aged. The eyes of the old mother were not so dim, but that they noted the reckless hastening from one path to the other, and her loving heart grew anxious. She could understand her son's anxiousness, that he was feeling so sad to take his aged mother and abandon her there. So he was not looking at the path, he was blindly taking her. Her son did not know the mountain's many paths, and his return might be one of danger. So she stretched forth her hand, and snapping the twigs from brushes as they passed. She quietly dropped a handful every few steps of the way, so that they climbed. The narrow path behind them was dotted at frequent intervals with tiny piles of twigs. That was why did she do that? Because he was just walking and going away. But if he returns back, he won't know the way. So what she did is, she was just like piggyback behind his son. As she was going, she picked up all the twigs and dropped them all along the way, so that when he comes back, after leaving him, he comes back, he will safely go to the house. At last the summit was reached. Weary and sick heart, the youth gently released his burden and silently prepared a place of comfort as his last duty to the loved one. Gathering fallen pines needles, he made a soft cushion and tenderly lifted his old mother onto it. He wrapped her padded coat more closely about the stooping shoulders. With tearful eyes and an aching heart, he said, "Farewell, farewell, mother, farewell." The trembling mother's voice was full of unselfish love as she gave her last injunction. "Let not thine eyes be blinded, my son." Even in that moment, she was giving him an advice. "Let not thine eyes be blinded, my son," she said. "The mountain road is full of dangers. Look carefully and follow the path which holds the piles of twigs. They would guide you to the familiar path further down." The son's surprised eyes looked back over the path, then at the poor old shriveled hands, all scratched and soiled by their work of love. His heart was broken within, and bowing to the ground, he cried aloud, "O honorable mother, your kindness breaks my heart. I will not leave you. Together we will follow the path of twigs, and together we will die. I will not leave you here dying. I cannot see you dying over here. I will take whatever the circumstances, I will take care of you," not listening to the verdict given by the king. Once more he shouldered his burden. How light it seems now. When he was going up the hill, the burden was so heavy, isn't it? And when he is coming down with such a happy heart, he's saying, "Whatever happens, I will take care of my mom." So when he's coming down the hill, now he felt his heart being so light. His burden, how light it seemed now. And hastened down the path through the shadows and the moonlight to the little hut in the valley. That is, he has reached his house, safely reached his house. By that, see, the path fully was, what happened? Strewn by what? His mother, she strewn the twigs and the leaves, isn't it? So that way, when he was coming down, it was easy for him to locate the way. Beneath the kitchen floor was a walled closet for food, which was covered and hidden from view. There the son hid his mother, supplying her with everything she needed. continually watching and fearing she would be discovered. Time passed and he was beginning to feel safe when again the governor set forth heralds bearing an unreasonable order, seemingly as a boast of his power. His demand was that his subjects should present him with the rope of ashes. So not enough what he told, like the aged people have to die, leave them at that mountain there. But now another verdict he is giving out. What is the verdict is? They have to present them with the rope of ashes. The entire province trembled with dread. The order must be obeyed, yet who in all shining could make a rope of ashes? Who could make a rope of ashes? Isn't it quite crazy for a king to send such a proclamation? One night, in great distress, the son whispered the news to his hidden mother. Wait, she said, I will think. On the second day, she told him what to do. She said, make rope of twisted straw, she said, then stretched it upon a row of flat stones and burn it on the windless night. He called the people together and did as she said, and when the blaze died down, there upon the stones, with every twist and fiber showing, perfectly lay a rope of ashes. The governor was pleased at the wit of the youth and praised greatly, but he demanded to know where he had obtained such a wisdom. Alas, alas, cried the farmer, the truth must be told. And with the deep bows, he related his story. The governor listened and then meditated in silence. Finally, he lifted his head. Shining needs more than strength of youth, he said gravely. Ah, that I should have forgotten the well-known saying, with the crown of snow there cometh wisdom. That's why every hour of the cruel law was abolished and custom drifted into a far as part that only legends remain. What does the moral of the story tells you? The last line, what he says, the king. With the crown of snow, there cometh wisdom. That means the crown of snow means what? Old people. Old people hair, how does it look? It looks like snow, white as snow, isn't it? So the snowy white hair, beneath that person is a person who gives us a lot of wisdom, gives us a lot of that is advice and for the future, how to be. Without the advice of elders, can we move one step forward? We cannot, isn't it? So we need these aged people with us all along to live a happy life, to live a safe life. Okay. Now, as this farmer had done, if he had left her mother there, then will this next verdict, next proclamation of the crazy king would have been fulfilled? No. So bravely he brought his mother back, hid her in the kitchen, in the storehouse, and then whatever she had told, whatever how to make the rope of ashes, according to her wisdom, he had made it, and then finally made that incident, that action had made the despotic ruler to come to his senses and forget the rule and declare the rule as null. And finally he did not give any more foolish rules, and he kept everybody happy, and the aged people were honored. So hope you understood this supplementary lesson. Just read it. I have given you the story, explained the story to you, but it's better to read the story. Reading is always good for you. Okay, please read the story. If I have left off here and there a few important points, few minor points, if you read it, you will be able to know it. And by reading only, you can answer the question answers. That is questions like identify the character, isn't it? So please read it. Thank you.